Hello guys, welcome to Captain Dorja's Armory. This is Captain Dorja and we've got a couple of good battles to show you right now. We're going to be looking at a couple of platoon battles that I played with some guys from QSF. And these battles are going to be highlighting coordinated aggression. I played these battles a couple of nights ago with Crew Dog and Nab, and it was really fun. The first battle we're going to look at is going to be a battle in the 110. Me and Nab rolled out our 110s. Crew Dog rolled out his Lerva. Now, those of you who know the difference between a 110 and a Lerva may think that that's a weird platoon composition to run a pair of fast aggressor brawler heavy tanks and a very slow trundling long range sniper heavy. And I will admit, it makes an odd trio for coordinated aggression, but as we'll see in the battle, it's all about the plan and the man, not so much about what he's driving. So, let's take a look at the 110 real quick, and we're going to quickly compare it to the IS-3, because the two tanks look so similar, they immediately draw comparisons between them. Now, to boil it down to the absolute most simple is differences in armor. The 110's upper plate is a lot stronger. It's thicker, it's sloped back more steeply, and it's better angled than the IS-3's. But the IS-3 has a much better lower plate, it has a stronger turret, and it's got spaced armor on the sides that is legendary for eating shots. The 110, no spaced armor on the sides, weaker turret, giant lower plate. The next main difference is that even though the 110 is 2 kilometers per hour faster and they have the same traverse speed, the 110 has a power ratio of 11.3 horsepower per ton, whereas the IS-3 has 14 horsepower per ton, which means IS-3s will get in position faster than 110s. It's just a fact of life. The other difference is in the guns, so let's compare them. Here's the gun of the 110, here's the gun of the IS-3. Now, basically, again, boiling it all down, the gun on the 110 shoots faster, has a little bit less penetration, a little bit less alpha damage, way better aiming time, and slightly better accuracy. So what this means is the DPM on the 110 is 1920 damage per minute versus 1759 on the IS-3. That doesn't seem like very much of a difference, but you'll really notice it in battle. And even though the penetration is less, it's only 10 millimeters less. 215 versus 225. 215 millimeters of penetration on a tier 8 heavy, completely sufficient. That's still penetration on level with a tier 9 medium, no problem whatsoever. 320 alpha damage, it's not great, but it's definitely not bad. And with the increased rate of fire and the quicker aiming time, you can actually lay that damage down very effectively. And with the slightly improved accuracy, you've got a little bit more utility at range. So those are my quick differences between the 110 and the IS-3. Now the other tank that we're going to be looking at is this beast, the IS-6. This thing, as an aggressor tank, is really good, especially in a 3-man platoon with 3 good players. This thing has good speed for a heavy tank, great frontal armor, strong side armor. Look at the sloping on it. The lower plate is a weakness, but that is about it. The turret is also not that good. You can hit these hatches, those are a weakness, and the sides of the turret are basically a giant bullseye. But this tank, frontally, with a good driver, you'll see the result in the battle. We're gonna take some damage in our IS-6s. This thing is awesome, and this gun, even though it has bad penetration for a tier 8, abysmal accuracy and aiming time measured in like geological time, this gun is incredibly effective because of that rate of fire, 5.13 rounds per minute. If you're shooting an unarmored target, like a medium tank, or if you're shooting the side of a heavy tank, good lord in heaven does this thing lay out damage. It is amazing. And with a platoon, you can force enemies to turn turrets, giving side shots to your platoon mates. You can flank, you can just attack. And really, if you play a lot of IS tanks, you'll know these things. IS may stand for Joseph Stalin, but it really ought to be called the AS tank for assault. This thing is an assault tank. You drive it into point blank range where the aiming time and the accuracy don't matter, and then you blast people in the face. This thing is like an armored rolling blunderbuss, and I absolutely love it. So let's get this friggin' thing into battle and see what she can do. And I promise she can do a lot. Alright, well, here we are loading into battle. We are on South Coast. I always forget the name of this map. And we can see from XVM that we're going to have to really fight hard, according to XVM anyway, for victory in this battle. Because it looks like our team is slightly undermatched. So what our plan is right off the bat is that all three of us, myself and Nab in our 110s and Crew Dog in his Lerva, we are going to go aggressive on the beach. And what we plan to do is just basically blitzkrieg these guys really fast. And we're going to try and knock out their entire left flank and push up into their base so hard and so fast that there's nothing they can do about it except die. And you might think that's not such a great idea with a Lerva with us. And you would have a point, because the 110 is pretty quick, but the Lerva is notably slow. Also not a strong contender for close combat, whereas the 110 is very good at close combat. So our initial plan is that Crew Dog will stop at the corner right here by this tower over near the E25, and he'll give myself and Nab covering fire as we advance to the C2 area. Once we get to there, Crew Dog will either move up through the city on his own, or he will move along the beach with us and kind of bring up the rear, sort of safeguard our rear as we attack. That's the plan. And so myself and Nab charge right around the corner past the E25, and Crew Dog is moving into position. Right there we can see the enemy ISU-152. I fire a shot on the move at him that was lucky and it hit. Nab trades fire with the ISU and comes out a little bit on the short end of that stick, but honestly, it's my opinion that with the current vehicles we have on the beach, screw that ISU, I need to keep pushing. Remember, my goal is a hard and fast blitzkrieg straight into their base. Crew Dog's putting out effective fire on this Hellcat, and we are pushing in on the enemy. That 3002M back there, let's not forget about him, because that guy definitely receives huge marks for playing pretty well. So let's keep him in mind. So right here, pushing into the KV-1S against the strong frontal armor of the 110, this KV-1S really has no chance at all. And we've taken him out. Nab's come up in support, so has the 3002M, and Crew Dog and the E25 are now working their way through the city to attack the ISU. Crew Dog's long-range support there hammered that Hellcat down and killed him in 2 shots, so that was pretty nice. Unfortunately, the ISU was just knocked out our E25, and it's now Crew Dog alone versus an ISU and a Tiger 1. And with the just massive damage that ISU can do, even though Crew Dog should win this fight, we really ought to give him support. So, myself and Nab, we plan on rolling back into the town to blitz this Tiger, and then we'll press on into the base. But look at our 3002M go. He is on it like it's his job. Nab puts in a good hit, I put in a good hit, the 3002 lands a hit, and suddenly that Tiger's on 56 health. Me and Nab decide that the 3002 and Crew Dog can probably handle it by themselves, and we start moving into the enemy base. Now, the scores are 6-7, our team is losing, and our right flank is looking bad. We've got a Yag Tiger 88, and that is it. Our ISU is just starting to react, so Crew Dog is starting to head back to base. Me and Nab are going to just push aggressively. We're going to keep the pressure on the enemy, force them to fight. And look at our 3002M go. He's pushing into the flank just like a medium tank driver should do. The more I watch this replay, the more I think that our platoon is not really the star of this battle. It's actually that 3002M. He just played an amazing game. So myself and Nab are just ramming ourselves down the throat of these two powerful Tier 7 TDs. But with our damage per minute and our strong frontal armor, even against the powerful guns on the SU-122-44 and on the Panzer SFL-5, we're really not that threatened. Although we're both on, well, I'm on about half health. Nab's on pretty low health. But Nab did eat an ISU-152 shell, so that just shows the toughness of this tank. He still has enough HP left to just bully his way in through these enemies. And look at that, the 3002M just keeps pushing right into the base. He played an amazing game. He spent the entire game in a Tier 6 medium in a pretty mean Tier 8 environment. He spent that whole game doing exactly what he should have done, and that was providing excellent support to his heavy tanks as they made a game-winning push. And he managed to get 5 kills out of it, so it's not like there was no reward in it for him. Great game to him. Just a really fun battle, and a good example of how a little bit of coordinated teamwork, even when you may not have the most ideal platoon composition, like 2 110s and a Lerva, a little bit of coordinated teamwork can go a long way. And you can see that the enemy's down to just 2 tanks. We've captured the base. 42% victories. Gotta love them. Let's take a quick look at some post-game stats. Alright, so post-game stats from the 110 battle. You can see that was 2 times experience for the first win of the day. We managed 2,942, which is pretty good. Pulled in a sniper medal, which is also nice, as well as 100,788 credits. There were bonus credits in that from an event, but frankly, I don't remember what the event was or how many bonus credits there were. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say that was probably 25 or 30,000 bonus credits. But still, good result. We'll take it. Litany Destruction, pretty nice. Got a little spotting damage on the Hellcat and the PZ-SFL-5, and a little bit more on the ISU, but that's just window dressing. One big hit into the M4043, big one into the ISU. That was a lucky shot. Full speed on the move with a 110, shooting at an ISU-152 in a town, up a hill. That was some serious roll the dice and see what happens. And we hit, penned, and did 332 damage, so yeah, nice. Good hit on the Tiger, good hit on the PZ-SFL, 1 into the GW Panther, 2 good hits into this SU-122 and the kill, and 3 good hits and a kill on the KV-1S. And you can see that, sorting by damage, me and Crew Dog fill out the top 2 spots. 2,900 damage from me, 1,600 from Crew Dog, and 1,300 from Nab, who came in 4th. The 3002M, 6th most damage on the team, but he got 5 kills and 2nd highest experience in the match. Great game played by him, excellent play. He did exactly what he could have done and exactly what he should have done, and he was rewarded for it. So yeah, good job to him. Just a really nice battle all the way around. We can see that we managed to received 7 hits, 3 penetrated, 2 were artillery splash, and 4 bounced off. So yeah, we didn't get shot up too bad, but we managed to still tank some damage, as well as putting 10 of our 11 shots on target, all 10 hits penetrated for almost 3,000 damage. So really nice little battle in the 110, a tank that I'm starting to like quite a bit. So now, that 110 battle was pretty nice, but let's see a real example of some just absolute beast mode aggression. This is what happens when you take 3 good players in a platoon of IS-6s. Alright, so we're loading into battle with our IS-6s now, and you can see all 3 of us rocking the IS-6. Again, it's me, Nab, and Crew Dog, and we are on an encounter battle on steps. And we can see from XVM that we're facing a team of fairly inexperienced players. The enemy's IS-3 and Tiger 2 both have quite a few games. The T-29 and the Hellcat have quite a few games. But mostly, it's a pretty inexperienced team, and not that many of the people on it, statistically, are really that much to worry about. Now, just for the record, I'm not saying that XVM is always right or anything like that. Like that 110 battle, that was a 42% chance to win, and we won it. So I'm not trying to say that it's like God or anything, but when you're in a 3-man IS-6 platoon and XVM's giving you numbers like that, you definitely need to just roll forward because it's time to kill stuff. And so that's what we're doing. Unfortunately, NAB is already taking a huge beating. And with the enemy in the position that they're in, I decide that I'm going to try and attack them in the sides. Problem is, though, NAB and Crew Dog are not really able to defend themselves that well from there, and they are currently facing down a T-32, a Tiger II, an IS-3, a Type 59, and a Tiger I. I, on the other hand, am trying to just put flanking fire into the enemy heavies. Right there, they both called for help as that IS-3 YOLO'd them, so we backed up and all three of us combo shot him. So far, I'm just trying to focus down the enemies that are preventing me from pushing in on the flank. And now, the flank opportunities are open. You can see we penetrate the lower plate on that Tiger, forcing the Tiger II rather, to expose himself to fire from NAB and Crew Dog. The Tiger II turns his turret, exposing himself to me, and we kill him. Now this M6 has been shooting me in the side over and over again, and with the T-29 there, I can't keep ignoring them. So I finish off the T-29, or the M6, and start worrying about the T-29. Now NAB and Crew Dog are in a bad way, but they're still putting up one heck of a fight, and the only things left opposing them is the T-32 and the Type 59. Now since I have the most health, I decide that it's just time to engage man mode on this Type 59. NAB is over there fighting the T-29, and Crew Dog's been having a lot of trouble from this Type 59, so I decide that it's just time to zerg this guy, and just to make sure that I'm dealing damage to this guy, I actually load APCR. I only carry 3 APCR with my IS-6, because frankly it's just not worth it. But I actually miss it right there and shoot it into the ground. So I load another one, shoot the Type 59, but really, it's not worth APCR, so I go back to standard ammo. Now we're in trouble. Crew Dog's got 260 health, NAB's got 87 health, and I've only got 155 health. I'm actually running from the T-32 right there. Luckily he bounces off me, and luckily I fire before the Type 59. NAB's just taken out the T-29, but Crew Dog has just went down, so that is not ideal. But it should be okay, because now me and NAB can sandwich this T-32. So I put one shot into him, NAB shoots another one up the butt, the T-32 bounces off NAB, and we push in for the final combo. One in the flank, one in the rear. And that's all she wrote. Now let's just take a quick pause and look at the graveyard here. Dead T-32, dead Tiger II, dead Centurion Mark I, dead Tiger I, so that's 4 tanks, dead IS-3, 5 tanks, dead Type 59, 6 tanks, dead M6, dead T-29, 8 tanks, and dead Type 64. 9 out of 15 enemy tanks came down here, and they basically were fighting 3 IS-6s. And the 3 IS-6s prevail. Right. That is awesome. And we don't have much health left, and they did kill Crew Dog, but they threw 9 tanks at us and only one of us died. That is one hell of a battle, and that wasn't 9 crappy tanks, that wasn't 9 Jagdpanzer IVs. That was 5 Tier 8s. 3 Tier 8 heavies, 2 Tier 8 mediums, 2 Tier 7 heavies. Like, what in the name of all things holy, what were they doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. Unbelievable. Now granted, the M6 and the Type 64, they're not really going to do that much to IS-6s. And in fact, I spent a lot of time sitting there ignoring the M6 because he couldn't bend my side. And the Centurion 1 was stock, so he was not really a threat. And that's part of why I was able to come out with so much damage and not be dead, because I spent a lot of time fighting the guys that were trying to flank, and because they were trying to flank were the people that were too weak to fight a head-to-head action against IS-6s and win. So Nab and Crew Dog, with worse positioning, had to tank the brunt of that enemy force, and that's pretty much the only reason why I survived. And it's pretty much the only reason why I was able to do so much damage, is because the two of them were fighting pretty much everybody that mattered. Although I'm pretty impressed though, Nab with 87 health went 1v1 against a full health T-29 and killed it, so that's pretty awesome. But anyway, let's take a look at post-game stats. Obviously that was a victory. We hardly lost a player, and I managed to pull in a steel wall medal as well as a Spartan medal, so that's pretty nice. Pretty decent litany of destruction as well. Put a big hit into that IS-3, right into his side. Good hit into the T-29. 2 good hits plus the kill on the Tiger II. 1 good hit and a kill on the M6. What is that? 3 big hits on the Centurion Mark I plus the kill. 3 hits and the kill on the Type 59. And 2 good hits on the T-32. Plus, for a little garnish, we got little bits of detection. Not much though. Take what you can get. Not surprisingly, if you sort by damage, me, Nab, and Crew Dog came in 1, 2, and 3. And we also got 9 kills between us, so that's pretty awesome. 4,350 damage done by me, and 4,710 damage survived. Nab did 3,759 damage and survived 4,210 damage. And Crew Dog did 2,064 damage and survived 2,750 damage. So not only were we dealing a ton of damage, but we were actually surviving even more than we put out. That just shows just how tough the IS-6 can be. Now, that battle was just an absolute raffle stomp. We fired 15 shots, 13 hit, all 13 hits penetrated. We received 20 hits, 8 penetrations, 12 bounces. That included more than 1 bounce of a T-32 off our rear. So, yeah, you need to aim when you shoot. That is hilarious. Managed a profit of 89,513 credits. No event credits in that. That was all pure Tier 8 premium profit-making machine. And also 2,044 experience undoubled. That is pretty healthy. Also, just to illustrate what I meant about relative positioning, I had the most advantageous position because I was fighting the weakest tanks. Nab had the second best position because it actually offered him more protection than Crew Dog, and that's reflected in the hits received and non-penetrations. Nab got shot 17 times and 10 of them bounced, whereas Crew Dog got shot 11 times and only 3 bounces. And that's because where Crew Dog was, he wasn't really able to return fire with his lower plate protected, whereas the position Nab was in, he could have his lower plate protected and be angled really well against the Type 59 and the Tiger, which really lacked the penetration to just brutalize his armor. So that's a little analysis on absolutely why things went the way they did. Anyway, guys, enough prattling on in post-game stats. I hope you enjoyed this tour de force of aggressive, in-your-face heavy tank play. I definitely loved it. It's one of my most favorite things to do in World of Tanks, and I guess that's because on the surface it's pretty easy. You just drive in and kill stuff. There's a lot more to it than that, and I think I'm actually pretty good at the close range angling and juking of your hull and stuff. So I really love this kind of battle. I've been having some absolutely fun games with QSF lately. Just an amazing time. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did, and until next time, just remember, you can never have enough big guns.